Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. Wanted to show my process on restoring these weight plates. Had some free weight plates that are in pretty bad shape, really rusty and also a little bit damaged. Wanted to get them nicely restored, especially since they were free. And needed something in the weight room besides just bumper plates. So here we go. Thanks for watching. As you can see, I got a little trash can set up with some cleaning vinegar and water mixture. Have out my drill, some heavy-duty gloves, steel brush, and also a wire brush bit for the drill. Putting these weight plates down in the vinegar, soaking them overnight, and then it's just a matter of taking the time to clean them with this steel brush, wire brush on the drill, which definitely made it easier, but this was still a really, really long process. The more you can soak it in the vinegar, the easier all this comes off. As you can see, that rust is really kind of almost like coming to the top, and these prove to be even more rusty and difficult to work with than I thought they would be. Every once in a while, you gotta actually kind of use your hand brush to kind of get the in between those nooks and crannies, and some of this was so badly caked on that it just seemed like it was not coming off completely, and if you did just the drill, it was kind of gouging into the metal. So I wanted to go over it a little bit slow down so you guys could really see how caked on this rust really was right here on this specific plate. At that point, I made the decision to throw it back in the vinegar. And here you can see this cleaning, degreaser, etching solution that I'm using in a bucket. And I'm just using a rusty old hammer to get that out of there. Pulling out the weight plates so that I don't put my hands down in there mostly. And that's just to get all that rust and grime off there. As you can see here, I put this clip in so you could see what not to do. Don't rinse it with the hose and then think it'll dry. You have to get it dry really quickly and then pretty much take it straight to paint. I'm pretty lucky I had this rusty metal primer here on hand, ready to go. So as soon as I got everything kind of dry, I went ahead and started applying coats of this primer. I used a really big box because it was pretty windy, so it kind of made like a studio tent for me to paint in here. You can see I didn't get all the paint off from the prior application. I just really wanted to go for the rust. And this is the part that makes it a little weird because you have to get something on. There's just bare metal. If you leave it out, it's getting rust on it. So you have to go ahead and get some paint on, but you've got it now sticking to the cardboard. This part you can see my selection of paint choices here. Had a shiny black that was too shiny, and then right here have the enamel black that came out a little bit too matte and too industrial. Didn't really like the look of that. And then finally, this is the black that I chose, which is a matte hammered black. Although it maybe looks a little more silvery than I was expecting it to, I still think it came out looking really cool. Definitely had the hammered look that I was going for. And it looks even lighter there than they do at the end. But still think it came out really nice. The plates in the beginning were way more black than what they are now. But I'm okay with that. So these are those wider international plates that I had to come back to after they soaked longer in the vinegar solution. Really just took a long time to work with these. And if you look back in the pictures in the very, very beginning, the before pictures, these were the worst ones. So kind of knew this would take me a while to get these kind of nice and how I wanted them. Just going back and forth with the drill and also manually scrubbing with the brush. Yeah, it takes it all the way down to the metal pretty quick, so gotta move fast so you can get some sort of primer or some sort of coat of paint on. One thing worth mentioning while I'm kind of just doing the same thing here, make sure you take safety precautions. You might want to wear a respirator, breathing all this rusty paint. Definitely want to wear some eye protection. And be careful with that drill, especially the way I was doing it with the towel. When the weight plate sitting on the towel, it got myself locked up into the towel several times. And so here I'm just kind of drying each little letter, trying to make sure I get all the little bits and pieces of rust and paint out from in between all those letters, and trying to get them all cleaned up. After they went through the degreaser, got them all dried off, and now we're applying this rusty metal primer again, letting that get nice and dry, just doing thin coats. You guys know how to spray paint, but thin coats are best. And again, with the cardboard situation, that was a little bit frustrating. This is when I'm applying the lettering, so I used a lighter, brighter silver metallic paint with a sponge brush applicator, and it looks very tedious doing it this way, but this is actually a lot faster to me than using a paint pen. And this is just a clear coat that I use, a satin clear enamel. And this is the final product. So as you can see, that light silver really pops on that matte black base coat. And then I just put clear coat on and let them dry for several days. This took a really long time. I'm really happy how they turned out. Probably won't do it again. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.